It's the end of an era, and I was wrong. What the f am I talking about? Well, a year ago, Avalon Hill, a subsidiary of Hasbro, decided to revive a miniature war game that had been out of print for twice as long as it had been in print. That game's called Heroscape, and I've covered it extensively. During Heroscape's original run from 2004 to 2010, one of its defining features, besides the modular terrain, was its pre-painted miniatures. You could buy a set from Walmart or Toys R Us, and it's ready to go. No building or painting required. Armchair experts on the wargame economy say that the pre-painted miniatures is one of Heroscape's main reasons for success. 12 years after the game was canceled, Avalon Hill said they were bringing it back, and they said the units in the relaunch wouldn't come pre-painted. As you can imagine, this pissed off a humongous portion of the community. Many people even said they refused to back the new sets precisely because they weren't pre-painted. It seemed every single day we had discussions on the forums of unpainted minis are bad. Then, 3 months after that first trailer, the fundraising campaign failed. We had a wave of the aforementioned armchair experts say that one of the main reasons the relaunch failed was because of the unpainted miniatures. Among other reasons, there was a lot wrong with that campaign. Of course, anytime anyone would bring up pre-painted miniatures, someone would always bring up the counter-argument. Pre-painted miniatures would make the game unreasonably expensive. And if it was at all affordable, you're probably relying on unscrupulous labor practices in the underdeveloped world. In other words, it wasn't possible. Anyone who's seen my previous coverage on this silly little war game knows that was the position I took. Well, this past Tuesday, Renegade Game Studios, the new stewards of Heroscape, blew the minds of 4,000 people. This is a really small community. Anae Morgan from the Renegade team posted in the Discord that the next Renegade Con was going to be March 1st. Hooray, who cares? I keep messing this line up, so I'm just going to read it. But more importantly, she announced that all of the details for the first wave of 2024 pre-painted Heroscape Age of Annihilation game releases and Heroscape terrain system boxes will be revealed as well as pre-orders opening. Now let's just take a minute to deconstruct this sentence. First wave means that rather than doing one massive, very expensive release like Avalon Hill was planning, Renegade is aiming for smaller, more price accessible releases. They've already somewhat mentioned this during the whole Meet the Team panel that they did like a couple months ago, but this is just further confirmation of that. The mention of 2024 obviously means that it's going to be releasing next year. My pet theory is that they're going to drop it August of 2024 because that'll be the 20-year anniversary of Heroscape Rise of the Valkyries release. Pre-painted means that the minis will come fully pre-painted. They further confirm this later on in the Discord. They're not going to do the weird like colored plastic that Avalon Hill was originally going to do. Every single model will be pre-painted. We've already covered that they are picking up the mantle of Age of Annihilation, and that's what this release is going to be. If you want more info on that, click here. And the last thing to overanalyze is the mention of Heroscape terrain system boxes. This has two geopolitical implications. One, they're going to be releasing standalone terrain sets, and two, they're giving an actual name to the hex system that Heroscape uses. I would assume that this has to do with the Kickstarter of Source Timescape, which is basically one giant Heroscape ripoff. Needless to say, this announcement was met with a ton of joy and celebration in the Discord, to the surprise of no one. But some people were a little bit more skeptical, myself included. It's great that minis are coming pre-painted, but if that's the only option, that could really price a lot of people out from picking up this game system. Unless, of course, you're outsourcing that labor to a country that is a little bit lower on the Human Development Index, which isn't good. We shouldn't be supporting that. Naturally, this led to some debates throughout the day. But then, at the stroke of midnight, Scott G, the president of Renegade Game Studios and the ignorer of my DMs, dropped some clarification. For one, he did say that pre-painting the miniatures would make everything more expensive, but at a rate of like 10 to 15%, not the like 50 to 100% that we were speculating in this. Fuck! So close. Color me silly. For 2, he said that the price points that they're looking to release Heroscape at are very competitive to the prices of similar games. Now, as anyone who's ever searched for a job in the 21st century knows, very competitive when it comes to money is absolutely meaningless. Still, I am choosing to remain optimistic. For 3, Scott said that Renegade only makes their products in certified factories, whatever that means. He said they undergo rigorous inspection, they're held to incredibly high standards, and he bets most places you work couldn't pass them. Some of the restaurants I worked at, 100%. Now, the cynical side of me says that no one admits to using outsourced slave labor, but then again, I also went to BlizzCon, so I can't exactly talk about ethical capitalism. Plus, optimism's cool, man. Let's get hyped for things. Overall, I'd say this is fantastic news, and anyone who says otherwise needs to go for a walk or something. How is any of this bad? I don't know. Of course, I shall keep you guys updated with the news as it comes out, as well as releasing other not news related Heroscape videos because I've been balls deep in this game lately. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk about Heroscape though, and you want to get caught up, you should totally click here to watch all of the videos that I made on the subject. This video is starting to get kind of long, and thank you so much for watching. I think I did that from the right side.